Let us embrace digitalization as the great equalizer of our time. Africa is not waiting for technology to arrive. It is inventing its own. From Kigali through Nairobi to Lagos, digital entrepreneurs are reshaping finance, agriculture, and education. A case of M-Pesa from Kenya is such. Europe brings regulatory experience, infrastructure, and ethics. Africa brings creativity, youth, and markets together. Digital century, Africa. Their people relies on taxpayers making their fair contribution to pay for the delivery of quality public goods and services, which are essential for meeting the human rights obligations of states. Addressing these problems, including the implementation of asset return and recovery based on existing mechanisms, requires to be strengthened further. We look forward to an intergovernmental platform within the United Nations to address the problem as envisioned by the need to promote inclusive and effective international tax cooperation at that level. The implementation of the United Nations Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development and the African Union's Agenda 2063 hinges on Africa's ability to mobilize sufficient and timely financial resources. The recently released Africa Economic Outlook 2024 by the Africa Development Bank estimates that the continent needs close to achieving that objective. Domestic resource mobilization is a secure source of finance. And we must defend the principle that dialogue, not domination, must govern our shared future. Let us be the voices that say to the world, cooperation is not weakness, and solidarity is not naivety. Second, we must deepen regional economic integration, beginning with the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. This is the largest economic integration project since the creation of the European Union itself. A single market of 1.4 billion Africans offers immense opportunities not only to us, but also for our partners in Europe. Europe should see ACFTA not as competition, but as collaboration. As African nations trade more with each other, they will also trade more and better with Europe. We welcome European investments that add value on African soil, that build industries, not dependencies. Let us move away from the extractive engagement and exploitative engagements to productive partnerships, from exporting raw materials to exporting innovation and products. We must reimagine migration as a bridge of dignity. Our youth are crossing deserts and seas not because they love danger, but because they seek opportunity. The challenge is not migration itself, it is despair. Let us create legal pathways for skilled and unskilled labor alike. Let us recognize qualifications across borders, establish circular migration frameworks, and protect the rights of migrants wherever they go. A nurse from Ghana working in London a Kenyan software engineer in Lisbon. These are not stories of loss. They are threads of shared prosperity. Migration should not drain Africa's talent. It should circulate it. Our continents are bound by geography and destiny. Europe faces a demographic winter. Africa is in the bloom of youth. Europe holds enormous capital, modern technology, and mature institutions. Africa, on the other hand, holds immense natural resources, relentless youth energy, and a large and growing market. Each has what the other needs. Together, we are not two continents facing each other. We are two halves of a single horizon. So let this summit in Luanda be remembered not for prevarication, but for decisions. First, let us show up multilateralism. We are entering an era where great powers are once again drawing lines across the world. But Africa and Europe both know the cost of division. We have no interest in returning to the zero-sum game of global rivalry. We must stand shoulder to shoulder for a rules-based international order that treats every nation with dignity. We must reform the United Nations Security Council to reflect the world as it is today, not as it was in 1945. Asks only for fairness, for a seat at the table, not a place at the menu, for a partnership grounded not in pity, but in parity. The time has come to move from promise to progress and from frameworks to follow-throughs. Let Luanda mark a turning point where we stand together for multilateralism, where we advance regional integration, where we act on climate, where migration becomes opportunity, and where digitalization becomes inclusion, and where equality becomes the foundation of our future. My friends, the question before us is not whether we will work together. The question is whether we will have the courage to do so as equals. Because history has already shown us what divides us. The future, if we are wise enough to claim it, can show us what unites us. Africa is ready. The question is whether we are ready together. I thank you for your attention. We must act together on climate adaptation urgently and justly. Africa contributes less than 4% of global emissions, yet we pay the highest price. Let us make climate finance accessible, predictable, and fair. A part of Africa's climate resilience is not a gift. It is an investment in both Africa's and Europe's own security and an investment in humanity's survival.